depend on the establishments. Chebet Birir, KTN News.
Around 700,000 people die annually from antibiotic-resistant organisms or superbugs, mostly found in factory farm animal products. Currently, 75% of all antibiotics produced globally are used in farming, and there is ample science showing how antibiotic overuse on factory farms is leading to antimicrobial resistance, which is spreading to the farm workers. KTN's Philip Keitani now reports.
The World Health Organization warns that we could reach a stage where we have organisms resistant to all antibiotics because of the superbug crisis. This means commonplace ailments could suddenly become dangerous, perhaps impossible to treat because of bacterial resistance to the available antibiotics.
Fact, we know that if you put a lot of animals in an enclosed space, the incidence of disease goes up. In the last 40 years, a lot of diseases have come from factory farming. You look at things like swine flu or swine fever that we dealt with, and it's already a threat because early this year there was discussions around the next big pandemic would be a swine flu outbreak because the swine influenza virus is changing.
According to Dr. Yamo, animals have several fundamental freedoms that mostly go unaddressed. These include freedom from hunger, freedom from discomfort, and freedom from pain and disease.
Farmers have also discovered, because my production system is not hygienically clean, it is having challenges with ventilation. So what they've discovered is you can use antibiotics at small doses to suppress that disease. And then that's the second way antibiotics are introduced into the system. So what does that antibiotic does? It suppresses the disease-causing organisms, and essentially what then happens is that it selects for resistance.
As global populations continue to rise, so does the food demand. Factory farming therefore seems like the only answer to satisfy the world's animal protein demand.
KEBS should be at the production level or at the slaughter process, taking certain samples. Because if you look at that packet, if you go to any supermarket now and look at any packet, it has a KEBS stamp. It has a Director of Veterinary Services stamp, which simply means that the product has been quality controlled. Yeah? But you and I know the reality is that it rarely happens. Ultimately, factory farms will only be brought down to cut to size if there is a willing consumer out there saying that I'm looking at my health consciousness, I'm looking at what my product I'm buying.
He adds that stopping this cruel and efficient system dependent on antibiotic overuse is vital to improve animal welfare and protect animal health, people's health, and ultimately the global economies from the impact of future pandemics. It is estimated that 10 million deaths are expected annually by 2050, with the poorest countries affected disproportionately. For KTN News, I'm Paul Thiongo.
Now, competition in the aviation space is set to intensify as Uganda Airlines flagged its maiden flight to Mogadishu, Somalia. The move is expected to stiffen competition